Hey everyone, welcome back for another memory keeping video. So this is for April 20th through the 26th, and I was using leftovers from a kit from Cinderella Paper called Darkling Sky, and then I'm also going to pair that with underlays, which are from Magical Sticker Co. I believe it's called the Butterflies 1 pattern. I guess she has more than one Butterflies pattern. And the foil color is Lavender Hollow, which is really intense shine-wise, but it looks great on the page and in the planner. So I'm really happy with that. Had a lot of fun blinding myself with how shiny that foil was. No particular reason that I was using this kit and these foil pairings this week. It's just, it felt like April to me. So I had the kit leftovers, I had the underlays, and it just felt like a mid-spring type of kit to use. So as far as what happened this week, just like a general rundown. Obviously, we're still in the middle of the semester at this point. We did get a thunderstorm and some rain several days this week, so that kind of matched the like moody vibes of the colors in this kit. And I had a dentist appointment, which went well. Noah Kahan's new album came out this week, so there's going to be several things that I mark there with listening to it and with all the promo around it. And we also did some like local shopping because it was National Bookstore Day. I didn't end up buying any books actually, but we did go to a local bookstore and tried out a new coffee shop and went to the record store and like a gift shop in the area too, just kind of doing some general shopping around at some local businesses. And then we also went for a short hike on Sunday. So I also really got into the what is it called? The Great Pottery Throwdown, because 2 seasons of it are available for free on Roku. And this is a British show. I believe it's affiliated with like Great British Bake Off. I don't know for sure. The format's very similar, so I think it is. But yeah, it's just amateur potters competing, and I think I caught an episode or two when we were in New Zealand. It's hosted by Siobhan McSweeney, who is Sister Michael from Dairy Girls, and she is a delightful host. Like, honestly, I think she does a better job hosting than some of the Bake Off hosts have done. But yeah, I really got into it. I'm done with it at this point because there were only 2 seasons available. But yeah, I remember watching like an episode or two in New Zealand, but it's not really available in America, or at least it hasn't been until they put these 2 seasons on Roku. So if you like Great British Bake Off, I feel like you'll like Great Pottery Throwdown. And then, as always with Bake Off, like the amateur potters, like they do their background stories. And of course, they're not only really good at like one hobby, they have like 14 other hobbies that they're like really good at. Like I'm sitting there watching, like, I don't do any of these things. I put stickers in my planner and that's about it. So, and I hike. My backstory on one of these shows would be very boring, but also I wouldn't end up on one of these shows because I don't do any of these things to a near professional level. So there we go. So yeah, other than that, a pretty stock standard week. My husband came home from SoCal on the Monday of this week. He was there to visit family and see his nephews perform their show. They have a band. I'm wearing one of my Hayley Williams bracelets that I've made. I'm too introverted to like actually give them out at the show, and plus honestly, I liked all of them so much I didn't really want to give them away. But that means I have all of these Hayley Williams themed bracelets, and I'm like, I can't really wear all of them all the time. So I've just kind of been like wearing one every day and just switching them out. I might end up giving some away to one of my sisters who also likes the album, but yeah, you'll see them pop up in videos time and time again because that's what I'm doing. I think the one I'm wearing in this video is my Go Ahead and Kill Me, Can't Get Much Stronger bracelet. Hearing that song live was really cathartic. Anyway, I also liked how we kind of continued some of the celestial themes from the week before, because the week before I was watching the Artemis return to Earth from the moon orbit. That also kind of went along with Noah Kahan's album as well. So he released the original album, I guess midnight Friday. I listened to it on Friday. And then like at the same time he dropped the bonus album, which I don't know how I felt about that. And a lot of people who pre-ordered vinyls didn't know how they felt about that either. Actually, they were quite incensed, if I'm being honest, from what I saw on the internet, because there were like 5 bonus tracks. Anyway, one of them is called Orbiter. It's very plaintive and emotional. The whole album's very emotional. Like I do have to be cautious with how much I listen to it because it causes me to ruminate a little bit on some things. So I really like it, but I'm definitely like out of my only listening to sad music era of life. Like I used to listen to a lot of really sad, depressing music, and I still do. But lately, as far as new music, I mostly want like upbeat, hopeful music. And so I do still really enjoy his music. It's just like I do have to be cautious with how much I listen to it because it really puts me in like a mood. And then it's like, okay, how am I supposed to go on with the rest of my day when I'm in this mood? So that is the power of music on my brain. So yeah, I ended up listening to the album all together again on Saturday with the bonus tracks because the bonus tracks weren't just like tacked onto the end, they were like interspersed throughout. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I was kind of like, dude, just like release the album, release the Kraken. I don't know. I thought that was a little weird. I guess I get why he did it because it wouldn't have fit on the vinyl anyway, but it was just a little weird. I'm not a fan of like all popular artists doing this weird thing where like they release like all these different variants of the same album. I find it quite annoying. But I don't pre-order albums anyway. Like I don't buy a physical copy of an album until I know that I like it. So I will in fact stream it first. And then once I know that I really, really like it, then I will get it as a physical medium. That's it. And I do find it so funny that CDs have come back in fashion and digital cameras, like point and shoot cameras, have come back into fashion. Cassettes came back into fashion. All this stuff that like, if you were born before 1995, you actually struggled with it, like with the physical media at some point, and had something that you loved ruined because it was physical. And so I do like it, but at the same time, I'm like, there is a reason that we switched to digital because things get wrecked really easily. Cassette tapes in particular, like I'm never getting back into cassette tapes because between them and VHS, like yikes. When those unraveled, it was a nightmare and it was very sad. So I should have sped up putting down the bass. I have nothing else to talk about. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. Alrighty, I just decided to skip to the day by day because I had nothing else to talk about. So Monday, like I said, my husband was gone. He normally takes care of the litter boxes and giving Clover her inhaler. So the first thing I marked on Monday was taking care of those things because he was still gone. I had an appointment, and after my appointment, I decided to get another Happy Meal. I did get 2 Happy Meals 2 days in a row because it was the Mario movie toys, and the first one I got was Birdo, and I was like, this is lame. So I went and got another one, and I got the Fire Mario or something. Looking back, I don't really care for either of these Happy Meal toys, but whatever. That Happy Meal sticker is from Bella Planella. And then my husband was driving home up, I think he came up Interstate 5. There's 2 ways to get from NorCal to SoCal. There's Interstate 5 and there's State Highway 99. Personally, I prefer 5, but like Apple Maps always wants you to take 99. And I'm like, no, 99 is worse. You might technically get there faster on a projection, but like the reality is you won't. So you might as well stay on the interstate. Anyway, those both run north-south. But he was driving home and he needed some sort of, not distraction, but like, I don't know, company. So we had a long phone chat. So that phone is from Corks and Corks Co. I worked out. So that sneaker is from the Prairie Planner and the script is from Cinderella Paper. And then it did rain this night. So that's from Sweet Ava's Paper. And so is the laptop sticker to mark watching season 6 of The Great Pottery Throwdown. Tuesday, we had a big thunderstorm, so I marked that. I went and taught my classes and graded papers, and then went and filled up the gas tank. Let me know what gas prices are where you are at. In Sacramento proper, we are at $6 a gallon, or at least we were on this day. I work in another town though, where for some reason the gas is a little bit cheaper, so I paid like $5.50 per gallon. So I saved a little bit of money, which is nice because most of my gas gets spent traveling to that town to teach. But all I can say is I'm glad to be on summer break now because, I'm not getting paid now, but I also don't have to spend money on gas to go to work. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I filled up the gas tank. Luckily, even with going to campus like 2 to 3 times a week, multiple campuses, I really only have to fill up my gas tank like once every 3 or 4 weeks. So that's good. I filmed my May lineup, which I feel like I'm going to end up changing parts of my May lineup. So sorry about that. And then there was also hail this day. So good old April storm. And then I continued watching Great Pottery Throwdown. Wednesday was Earth Day, so I have a little icon from Beneva Creations and a script from Magical Sticker Co., which is also where these underlays are from. I think I mentioned that earlier though. It rained again. That's from Sweet Ava's Paper. And I did more yoga, so I have a sticker from Wonton in a Million and a script from Sweet Ava's Paper. And then I had a dentist appointment this day, which was incredibly uneventful, which is what we want out of our dental appointments, right? So yeah, they cleaned me up. They put that good old fluoride on, and I was on my merry way. I was out of there in like 40 minutes because everything was fine. Thank God. I'm lucky. Like, I have been taking better care of my teeth. Like, I've been flossing and stuff. So I can take a little bit of credit, but I do also think I just genetically have good teeth. So I'm lucky in that regard. Like, there was definitely a time period when I was in grad school and when we were in the pandemic where I didn't go to the dentist for like 3 years. It was first because I was in grad school and I was on Medi-Cal. So I wasn't really sure who I could go to for the dentist. And then while I was in grad school, the pandemic hit. So like dental offices weren't seeing people anyway. So luckily I suffered no consequences for that 3-year gap, but then I've been going regularly since because it's like the one thing I can keep up with easily. And I remember like in the days leading up to this, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go to the dentist. It's like boring. But like that's exactly when you should go, is when it's boring. So that it's not interesting later on. So yeah, I was just like, I don't want to go, even though it's like easy and close to my house and everyone's nice. But yeah, anyway, that's a whole tangent. Sorry about that. But yeah, an uneventful dental appointment. We love to see it. And then I, say it with me, watched more Great Pottery Throwdown. So that tooth sticker is really old. It's from Cinderella Paper. So is the script for an appointment. And then the sticker at the bottom of the day is from Sweet Ava's Paper. Thursday, I went and taught my classes again, so I'm going to put in a Wonton in a Million sticker for that. I'm going to put in a Bella Planella computer for marking lesson planning. Thursday was my lesson planning day. This week, it just made the most sense. I prefer to lesson plan like at the end of the week because I like right as I'm coming out of a class so that I like know what we just did and so that I can like plan for the next week, if that makes sense. I also had to grade papers because 'tis the season. I wanted to mark getting a thank you card, and then this was the day that Noah Kahan's Tiny Desk concert with NPR promoting his new album came out, so I watched that and got a sneak peek of a few songs that were going to come out on the album. And then I journaled. I don't really remember why. I think I was just stressed, or let me check my notes. Yeah, personal stuff. I'm in a weird headspace lately. I'm going to be honest. I'm trying to figure out what am I doing with life? The big questions. Isn't that great? Anyway, I also played with the cats, and then I watched more Great Pottery Throwdown. So for that day, I'm going to pull in a television sticker from Quarks and Corgs Co. Friday, my husband worked from home. I went and taught my Friday classes and then came home and listened to all of The Great Divide, which was Noah Kahan's newest album. So I have a Spotify sticker from Bella Planella to mark that. Like I said, I overall really enjoyed the album. I think on first listen, some of the songs kind of like bled together for me, but like re-listening to it later on, there were a lot of things that I liked from it. And like I can pretty much listen to the whole album through and not want to skip anything, which in my eyes is the mark of a good album. I also did laundry, so I'm going to use another Bella Planella sticker to mark that. And then I was really tired this day. It's just that time of the year when I'm running around to a bunch of different classes and have a ton of work to do. And I'm very tired and crabby most of the time. Not most of the time, but like on the days where I teach. That's how I end up at the end of the day. So I have a Corks and Corks Co. sticker to mark being tired. And then we just got a pizza and I watched a bunch of Great Pottery Throwdown and Stephen Colbert's The Late Show. So I'm going to pull in this like happy sloth from Sweet Ava's Paper. Sorry. Saturday, the first thing I'm going to mark with a mix CD from Corks and Corks Co. is listening to The Last of the Bugs, which is the deluxe album or whatever we're calling it from Noah Kahan. So it had, like I said, like maybe 5 extra tracks. And I think I'm glad he added those 5 extra tracks because they're some of my favorite songs on the album. I was just very confused as to why he released an album and then a bonus album on the same day. That was a little weird to me, but whatever. I'm not a famous musician. What do I know? So I listened to that. And then, like I said, we went around to a bunch of small businesses this day. I wanted to check out Underground Books in Sacramento because it was, is it International or National Bookstore Day? International sounds correct. I didn't end up buying anything there, but I do love visiting them when I can. We tried a new coffee shop. Decided maybe we'll just stick with one of our old favorites because the drinks were not that good, honestly. So I marked that with a coffee sticker from Corks and Corks Co. We also went and bought I didn't have to, but I bought a Mother's Day card, and we also got a graduation card for our elder nephew. And then we just browsed one of the record stores as well. So that was fun. Then I came home and read a little bit. I think I was reading my Croatia travel guide at this point. And then I watched a bunch of Tasting History, which is the show on YouTube, where he cooks historic recipes, if you are interested at all. Sunday, I only marked 4 things. So the first thing I marked was that it was kind of like drizzly on and off this day. We did go on a hike. So I'm glad that we did that. I have wanted to hike more this spring, but the weather, it got like super hot early in March, and so it was not great hiking weather. And April weather was a lot more cooperative with hiking, honestly. And then May just got super busy, and then it was super windy, which is like not hot weather, but like when it's super windy and there's like tree branches flying everywhere, not really ideal hiking conditions unless you want to get like whacked in the face with like a spiky branch, which is not ideal, right? So I'm glad we hiked this day though. Then we came home, had a little like financial chat, kind of some game planning for the future, and watched more Great Pottery Throwdown. I think I was on season 7 at this point. So that is going to be the week. I know I sound like really low energy right now. I'm pretty sure it's cloudy today, which is very nice as a break, but it makes me so tired. Like, let me know if you feel that way too. Like, I feel much slower when it's even a little bit overcast. But yeah, I love how this turned out with like the lavender hollow butterflies. I think it paired excellently with this kit, and I was able to use the extra underlays in the sidebar, so that was fun. And then I'm gonna go ahead and destash these leftovers into my leftover binder where I color code all my leftovers. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are doing well, and I will talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.